this has been one of the most difficult seasons of my life. This season, I have learned new skills. I have developed and expanded talents. I am more grounded, more at peace. Choosing me elevated my life. For the great majority of my life, I spent time supporting and cheering others on, and that's something I'll always do. In my 20s, I took all of my resources, my thoughts, my energy, and I invested them in others, the dreams of others. And what I discovered is I did that because I was not quite sure what my goals were and what I wanted to do. I come from an amazingly strong family. I am a first generation US citizen. I'm the first person in my immediate family to be born a US citizen. That comes with the great honor and a whole lot of pressure. And when you grow up in a family where your entire family comes from other countries and they migrate to the United States. I was born and raised in the Virgin Islands, and it came with tremendous privilege and opportunity. It also came with tremendous sacrifice from my parents and their village, their support, and how we learn to navigate with family members living in all different countries. Just this amazing mix of culture and diversity that exists in my family today. Amazing. It came with a lot of pressure to perform, because when you hear stories of the sacrifices that were made for the opportunity for tremendous, the opportunities that come with being born into this country and living in this country, it just came with a lot of pressure. So in my 20s, when I left college, I just really had no idea what direction I wanted to go in, and it was easier for me to pour into others. So that's a little backstory on who I am. My family is amazing. My parents have just celebrated 53 years of marriage. Out of a season that was one of the most difficult seasons in my life. So where do I start? June of 23, my daughter was in a horrible accident that took us down a long road of recovery. And I've shared a little bit of that, and she is going to be stepping, after being out of college for a year in recovery, she's going to be stepping back in as a full-time on-campus living student, and we're super excited about this milestone and so grateful for the support and the love, and that we're on the other side of this extremely difficult, life-changing journey. Not only, of course, did it change her life, my life has been transformed as a result of it. During that same month, while I was away caring for my daughter, some things took place, and as a result of that, it compromised $160,000 of commission that was supposed to be in my bank account that I did not receive. So here's July. I couldn't really deal with that. I was in and out. My daughter was in and out of the hospital. I was, that was life transforming as it is. And it was about this time last year, I picked up the phone and I called a friend, and she has become one of my dearest friends to this day, and I'm so grateful. I have so many amazing friends. And I had a conversation with her about all these ideas and projects, and that I'm a brand, right? We're all a brand. We're all a brand. And how could I put all this together and monetize it? And so I felt led to call her that day. I shared that with her, and then she walked me through a plan. And that plan, a part of that plan, was starting a YouTube channel. And on this journey that I have been on, and again, this has been one of the most difficult seasons of my life that I have come out of. In this season, I have learned new skills. I have developed and expanded talents. I am more grounded, more at peace, and tapped into a creative part of who I am. All of those things have led me to this space where I now sit here in front of a camera with you. And when I made a decision to reinvest myself into myself, it elevated my life. I took my eyes off of everyone else. And that is something that's really challenging to do when you are a giver, when you are the person that stands in the gap for everyone else. But I honestly had no other choice, because as I was giving to my daughter to help her, I had to make sure that I stayed well rested. I had to make sure that I balanced my meals. I had to be sure that I was my best, because I couldn't help my daughter get to healing if I was depleted. And I literally went back to when she was born. When she slept, I slept. And on the medication that she was on, she slept for 15, 16 hours a day. So I would sleep, I would get up, I would meal prep, so that way when she woke up, if she wanted to eat, there was food there for her to eat, and food for me to eat, right? And balanced food. I spent a great deal of time consulting with Dr. Sebi's camp. Um, and in terms of her nutrition, my nutrition, and the supplements that she was on, and then the supplements I began taking to make sure that I could always operate at my best. And I'll say this again, choosing me, I chose my dreams, my goals, my pace. I focused on what motivated me, what inspired me. And by doing that, I elevated my life. Choosing me elevated my life. Choosing me allows me to sit here, stand here, live life glowing. And then I just began to fine tune myself. I was then catapulted into an arena with other women where we began talking about skincare and how to improve our skincare. And that's when I started using tretinoin and started fine-tuning my meal planning. I have an extremely long list of allergies. At one point in my life, I was vegetarian, and then I was a vegan. Everything that is in the vegan diet I can no longer eat. I have allergies that have gotten extremely worse over the years to today. I stand, and this actually happened this week. I had such a severe reaction to something that I ate that I shouldn't have been eating, but we're not going to have that conversation right now, because I'm like, you know what? I really enjoy it, and I can just deal with the hives. And that's a really crazy thing to say. But, one thing you're going to get with me is we're going to keep it real. We're going to keep it real. I wanted those cashews. I did. And I bought them for my kid. And I was like, the last time I had them, I just broke out in hives. And you know what? That's okay. I can deal with hives. I'm working from home for the next couple of days. It'll be fine, right? Hives take a few days to go away. And, who gambles? Well, that's how much I love cashews, that I was willing to gamble that. Well, I did it, and it did not turn out well. My throat started tightening. I started having trouble breathing. I started sweating. And let's just say I spent today at the doctor's office, and I now travel everywhere with an EpiPen. So there's just some things I'm not going to do anymore. And, what I say all that is that my diet was very lean already. So the meal prep that I share, I eat very clean because I have to. All of the things that I love to eat and enjoy eating and snacking on, I no longer can eat. And literally, if it isn't grown and it's not harvested, then it's not something that I can eat. I don't really eat a lot of meat. Um, and I'm really considering kind of cutting back on the meat that I do eat, but I'm so limited on the things that I can eat that it makes it hard to think about eliminating the things that are safe. But as I focused on choosing me, then that was choosing that I love the city of Atlanta and I don't want to leave the city. Choosing that living in Atlanta is important because my daughter is here, my parents live here, and they moved to this city because of me. They relocated from the Virgin Islands and moved here because of me. You know, my brother lives here. My friends, I have a network of friends that I've had for 30 years, and living in this city is really important. I chose me, and wow, my journey of choosing me started 4 years ago when I decided to buy this condo. And it was so out the box of the things that I had been doing in my life that some of my family members were like, what the hell is she doing? But this is a desire that had birthed in me. And at this point, we're talking about almost 16 years ago. I have an amazing friend, and there was a 16 years ago, he picked up the phone and called me and said, hey, why don't you come into the city? Your daughter's with her dad. Why don't you come into the city and let's have dinner and hang out? He said, you know what, pack a bag. And I was like, pack a bag? What do you? He's like, Tricia, just pack a bag. So packed a bag, we had dinner, and he said, if you want to stay the night in the city because your daughter is with her dad, you're welcome to do that. Let's park your car, let's walk and grab dinner. And we did, and we had an amazing time just talking. And I decided to stay the night and woke up to this the most amazing view that I had to have. And it did something to me. The day I closed on this condo, I actually reached out to him because it was important to me that I shared that with him. I really wasn't very good in my past about sharing my feelings and telling someone how I felt about them or how I felt about an experience I might have shared with them. And so I reached to him and I said, hey, I just wanted to let you know the kindness that you displayed to me that day and that view that I woke up to, it did something to me. And I decided that I had to have it every day. And I was so glad that the universe gave me that opportunity to share that with him because it's a piece of my story. It was a part of my story for him to be in my life and me to be in his life and him to display the level of kindness and that for me to then trust him, to trust and walk with him in that moment in time, to be able to get to a feeling that deposited in my soul that I had to chase. Or I really didn't have to chase. What I had to do was attract it to me. And the only reason, and I've said this once before, the only reason that I believe it didn't manifest before is that I couldn't see it happening yet for me. And that's the power of manifestation, is that the first thing is you got to see that you can have it. You got to believe that it can happen for you before it will manifest. And so today I sit here and I'm able to film in a condo that I live in that was as a part of a moment in time 16 years ago. And so my journey to choosing me started 4 years ago when I jumped off the cliff, decided to list my home, the home that I owned at the time, list it, sell it to be able to find a condo in the city. And I really didn't have any idea what that was going to look like. And people would ask me, my friends and family would ask me, well, what's it going to look like? Where are you going to live? And I was like, I don't know. I actually stayed with a girlfriend for 3 months, packed up all my stuff, had things in like 3 storage units. It was insane. was and was selling cars. I had a golf cart, all this stuff, and I really had no idea. And I kept saying, when I walked into it, I knew. I would know. When I walked into it, I would know. And when I walked into it, I knew. And that was the beginning of me choosing me. And it's been a journey up until just very recently of just continuing to rediscover myself. And I would just encourage you in all that you're doing and all that you are and all that you're committed to and responsible for. Choose you. Choose to go after your dreams. Choose to learn how to play that piano. Choose to start that dance class. Choose to open that coloring book. Choose to write that book. Choose to start that business. Choose to respond to that text. Choose to make that phone call. Choose to take the trip. Choose to resign from the job. Choose to pack those boxes and move to another country. Choose to take swimming lessons and choose to play golf and choose not to answer that phone call and choose not to go to that party and choose not to maintain that relationship. Choose to file that divorce. So many choices that we have. Choose to go to the gym. Choose to get out of bed. Because the truth is, in some seasons in our lives, it becomes that simple. Choose to call the therapist. Choose yourself and whatever that looks like. And in choosing myself, I live the way I need to. And whether, in terms of whether that is how I apply my makeup, whether I even wear makeup. I'm a girly girl. I'm going to wear makeup. I'm going to put on lip gloss. I'm going to wear light foundation. I'm going to do those things. I am going to wear eyelashes. And that is a part of choosing me. And there's no harm in any of those things in choosing me. I'm going to wear heels. I'm going to wear sneakers. Right? I'm going to wear long johns to walk my dog. In choosing me, I'm going to wear flip-flops in the winter. I'm going to wear white toenail polish. And standing in the life that you desire starts with choosing you. The first step in that is believing that you deserve it. And you do. Despite how someone has managed or really mismanaged you, is not a reflection of your value. And understanding that there are really people out here that will come and play with you. And so the first step in that, before you even can begin to design, because that's essentially what we are doing. Before you can design the life that you want to live, you first have to believe that you deserve it. And I remember having a conversation with myself, and I was having a conversation with myself and the universe and God. I was talking to God, and I remember saying, "Why not me? Why not me? Why not me?" And I had made a decision that the things that I desired were going to manifest for me. And I was going to have, and I was attracting those things into my life. And so as a result of meditating on those things, making that list, knowing with certainty that I deserved it, and I deserved to have my fairy tale, I deserved to live out my desires, to manifest my desires and live my dreams every single day, I began meditating on those things. And so I incorporated the 369 manifestation method into my life, which I still use to this day. And so I took all of those things and I put them down on a piece of paper. And then I transferred them to something electronic that I could look at every day. And then I began speaking money, love, peace, joy. And then followed by all the things I desired to manifest as they came to my mind. That those things would come easily, frequently, and abundantly every single day. Money, love, peace, joy comes easily, frequently, and abundantly every single day. Money, love, peace, joy comes easily, frequently, and abundantly every single day. I speak it 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, and 9 times in the evening every day. And I've even gone as far as setting calendar reminders in my phone to remind me. So it goes off at 8 or 8:30 in the morning, and then again at noon, and then about 9:30 at 10 o'clock. I do not go to bed between 9:30 and 10 o'clock, but that's a reasonable time for my mind to be fresh and for me to be at least looking at my phone and on my computer. Say with me, money, love, peace, joy come easily, frequently, and abundantly every single day. Money, love, peace, joy comes easily, frequently, and abundantly every single day. And as I began saying those things 3, 6, and 9 times a day, I watched those things show up in my life. And I started with something simple. I started with a parking space at the mall. And then when I would get to the mall, very busy mall, there would be a parking space for me right in the front. And that manifested. I began manifesting. I asked for a specific dollar amount that I needed. That showed up. And then more showed up. And then more showed up. And more continued to show up. And the more I asked, the more continued to show up. And it showed up, and it showed up, and it showed up, and it continued to show up. And it continues to show up. And as I stand, and as we speak that we're standing in our soft life, people show up. People show up in incredible ways, whether it's people I know or strangers, show up in incredible ways to make my life easier. And so the more that you speak this, and the thing about speaking, these things is you have to be also prepared to receive it when it comes, right? Oh no, I don't need your help. Oh no, thank you. Oh no, that's so gracious of you, but no. And so then as you continue to push it away, it's going to move further and further away from you. So in this, you have to be prepared to retrain yourself to be able to receive. Because the truth is, as givers, we have to be able to receive as generously as we give. That's a whole message right there. But in order for you to continue to stand in the life that you desire to live, you have to constantly renew your mind. Constantly renew your mind. And so I'm always speaking that I am standing in my soft girl life, and all the things that come with that are incredibly amazing. People will trip over themselves, and watch, people will begin tripping over themselves to help you and make your life easier, because the soft girl life is that we're going to live this life and things are easy for us and the victories are sweatless, right? There's no more stress, and accommodations are made. The way has been prepared, and the table is ready before you even show up. And that is what we are believing for. So, choose you. And I hope that this video encourages you in immeasurable ways that transform not only your life, but generations beyond those that you will ever meet. I am so grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you so much for sharing time. And I stand with you in celebration of the transformations that are going to start right now in your life as a result of you choosing you. And I look forward to hearing the testimonies of how your life has been elevated from the decision that you're making today to choose you.